Okay, I'll tell you what, Travis. When I'm back, I'll talk, that is. Let me know when I'm back, if I'm back, if I come back. Alright. Alright, Travis. I have a goal for you. If you want me to put that game on the list, if you think that it is a JRPG and holds within the elements, and like I said, JRPG is a very bad description of a subgenre. I just want to play games that were mostly made in Japan. That's really the best way that I can put it. I would like if they have more JRPG elements, which it's kind of been coined as turn-based fighting and things like that. However, the goal is kind of just to experience all the stuff that's come from there. That doesn't have like a whole bunch of Western elements to it and stuff like that. But if you stream the game and show me proof that it's a JRPG or a game that's worth playing, I will reconsider putting it on the list. What do you think of that? Hentai games? I'm pretty sure I took all the hentai games off. I like how you, like, pop down the Dragon Quest thing. It's like, Dragon Quest, bam! JRPG. Any game made by this guy. Or these guys. JRPG. I'm pretty sure, like I said, if it's a game that's against Twitch terms of service, I took off. There's a few, and again, the thing's not finalized. There's like that one Akiba's strip game or something like that. That I looked up some stuff about it, but I haven't looked up a lot about it. A lot of people have streamed the game and said that it's not as bad as people let on. But I've also got rid of like most of the waifu simulators and stuff like that too. But unfortunately there's just some JRPGs that have fan service. It's just the thing. And although it's not really my thing, there's gonna be some games like that. See, Shenmue's not on the list. That's a game I looked into and I don't feel like it's really... I mean, it's an RPG. It's really difficult to really clearly define or find a line between all these things. That's why a lot of stuff's up for interpretation. Eventually, I have to draw the line somewhere, or I'm going to be playing every single game that has slight RPG elements to it, and I definitely can't do that. Well, see, that's something that I read. I tried to read as much about it as I could. Okay, so I can't go back to, the castle. Maybe I can go back. Oh. Let's do it. Let's bet 1,000 this time, guys. Alright. Help me find it, guys. Oh, shit. Big hit! I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. Yes! I'm quitting now. I love the fact that it says big hit every time you win that game. It's like the most fantastic thing ever. I'm hungry terribly. Alright, so I can either go back to, I can go back to that area where I dropped off the plans. Or I can go to, like, where the, because I can't go into the castle. Doesn't leave a whole lot of areas to go. I can imagine how ridiculous that is if you pay 10,000. But I guess that's a really good way to make money. You just save the game and then do it. I'm not doing any type of MMOs. I'm gonna go over here. I feel like this is really the only direction to attempt to go at this point. You swear it was only mostly sarcastic. Yeah, I know. I know you love WoW. Yeah, I believe I have it on the list. I'm a Morpaguga. So like I said, this list is definitely up for interpretation, and you might not agree with me on all elements, and honestly, if you make a valid argument that makes sense to me, then I'm more than willing to make changes to this list. The thing's not going to be finalized for a long time yet, but at least it's there and the options are available for as we're progressing through it. And then maybe after a significant period of time of getting through games and experience some things, maybe we'll take more things off the list because we realize games like that just really aren't, you know, what we're looking for from this challenge. No, I definitely dropped frames. I don't know what's going on. I don't think anything's downloading or anything like that, but I'm also not 100% sure. It's been a long time since I've dropped frames, too. Yeah, absolutely. One moment. They got a tiny URL going. I'll use that now instead of the big one that I had before. So let me find it in chat here. There we go. No problem. The hardest thing that I really had was when it came to adventure RPGs, because there's a lot of... let's say this, do you guys consider Kingdom Hearts a JRPG? Some people's idea of what a JRPG is literally a turn-based game. That's it. That's a JRPG. That's not the way I've always looked at it. I've always looked at a JRPG as something that's very heavily story-driven. Whereas Western RPGs are more about kind of like putting yourself, making you the main character of the game, making you experience the things, make decisions and stuff like that. You're not actually like playing as a character, which of course is not in all cases, but... Yeah, but you can say that Kingdom Hearts has a story and a leveling system. But then there's a lot of adventure games that have, like, leveling systems and so on and so forth. Zing! So, granted, the list will probably start to get slightly shorter as we make more decisions on things. But the problem is that the lines between what a JRPG is and what an action RPG is and what a, strategy RPG are, the lines are just slowly coming together. There's games that contain so many different elements now. Now you've got more Western RPGs that are heavily story-based and stuff like that. Well, whether the game was good or not isn't exactly a part of the challenge. You wasted half your life on this game? Well, it must have been a good game then, if that was the case. So it has to be worth it in some regard. But there's going to be a lot of bad games played. And there's going to hopefully be a lot of good ones. But again, I considered changing the name of the challenge. Not necessarily... Because like I said, my goal is to play the games that were influenced by JRPGs in some way or another. Now, granted, they might be more of a adventure type game or adventure RPG or something like that, but if they are heavily story driven and similar in that regard, then it's on the list as of right now. At least that was the goal. But again, I potentially missed things, added things that I don't know enough about, because you can only learn so much. You can only learn so much from looking at Wikipedia articles, looking up other Google articles, reviews and stuff like that on games without giving yourself spoilers, and watching play of the game without spoiling too much. So, I don't know everything there is to know about every game. I can only go off the little I do know. I will admit to this, though. I found a lot of games that seem really fun to play, and I'm very excited to play that I didn't even know existed. A lot of, games that have since been translated that look awesome, that never came over here. Games that have, or some of the first games that have some of the elements in other games that we take for granted that I didn't know were started there. Games that I found out had incredible music just because of watching little tidbits of videos on them and listening to some of the OST. And I love RPG music. That's one of my big things. I especially like piano and violin and stuff like that, so I tend to like the slower parts of RPG music, maybe the sad themes and stuff like that. It's the way to put it. But I'm also a sucker for some of the epic themes as well. Yeah, that's the same thing with Phantasy Star Online and stuff like that too. Although that's technically an MMO and something I'm considering taking off, but it's also something you don't have to play as an MMO. That's another game that I took off the list and put back on the list and took off the list. I've been working on this list for months. I was doing a lot of it on pad and paper for the longest time while I was at work, a little bit here and there, doing a tiny bit of research on my phone. It's been over half a year of progress has gone into that list that you guys see and bringing it together to where it's at. And obviously, as you can tell, it's still in really rough shape. It's nowhere near finished or anything else, but it's there. And it gives you guys some options. And it's something to go by for now. Now, I think the stream's okay, but I do see that my my connection's going off and on. Um, there was two things with that one. And I own those games and I've never beaten them and I really want to play them. It's more of like a action-adventure type game. And I know, again, there's a fine line between what's an action RPG and what's an action-adventure type of game. But yes, the lack of leveling was something that was incorporated as well. But I did play through most of the first one of that, and I loved that game. And it was something that, like I said, was on the list, but then I took off. Like I said, it's... I don't know. It's very difficult to... Most of the challenge runs that people do for stuff like this, they choose a system and they play all the games on a system, or like they choose... If I were to say every RPG, then the list of games that are quote-unquote RPGs by any means because they have a leveling system or because you play as a character. Yeah. That's... Mega Man Legends was one of the games that I actually wanted to be on the list very badly, but I feel like putting it on the list opened up the doors for so many other types of games. I tried to, in my mind at the very least, have a couple key points between what is an action-adventure game and what's an action RPG. And what it kind of came down to was, if the game had some type of, like, progression stat-wise that wasn't completely dependent on equipment, then I considered incorporating it. And then I tried to watch, like, playthroughs and stuff like that, or a review without anything that gave spoilers to see if it talked about like the story and stuff like that in the game. If there was no story, if it was just kind of like you're the character going around making decisions type of thing, it's something I potentially avoided. But if it was like heavily story driven, like something like Alundra was, then that's more of an action RPG. Again, there's no really clear-cut definition of what an RPG is anymore, or what a JRPG is anymore. The only thing that I can really say about, like, what people consider a JRPG and whatnot and everything else is the feeling that they get when they play the game. If they were to try to describe it to someone else, like, how would you describe that game to somebody? Dark Souls was a game that was made in Japan, and it came over here, and it's very, very heavily Western influenced. But when you were to talk to somebody about it, if you were trying to express it to somebody and be like, "What is this game?" Would you say that it's a JRPG? Would they get the picture if you were trying to explain it to them like that? I don't think they would. And that's kind of what I tried to do with the games. Did it appeal to me in the same way that many of the other RPGs have? And again, that focused heavily on storyline and whether the game had storyline. Which is very hard to do for the older systems because Nintendo games don't really have too great of storylines, obviously. Same with like Game Boy games and stuff like that too. But I honestly have no issue with the list growing or the list becoming smaller because of us kind of agreeing and coming to terms with something. You mean controlling a group of people rather than just one person? There's definitely something in that regard, but then you have a game like Dragon Quest where you only play as one character. So there's examples of that. On one of my pages, I tried to put like a, I think it's on the Game Cuts pages, and there's a rules pages as well, and I'm working on that myself. Off and on. Like I said, yeah. And that's kind of the problem you run into with so many different games, is that you want to have this clear-cut definition of what a JRPG is, but since you don't, some games kind of like fit through the cracks a little bit, and they kind of shine a little bit and say, hey, look at me, I'm kind of what you're looking for, but not everything that you're looking for. I feel like someone's playing the drums. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but I can. Okay, so I'm a little lost at this point. Oh wait, no I'm not. Maybe I can go down to that bridge down there. That bridge that I couldn't go to before. Or not the bridge, but the gate that I couldn't go through. That's the only place I don't think I've checked. Yeah, that could be true. But for instance, when you guys think of something like Alundra, if you're familiar with it, Alundra is kind of... It's very close to a Zelda-esque game. But it's very heavily story-driven. But the gameplay is basically kind of like a Zelda game. Is that an action RPG? And therefore, if it's an action RPG, is it then a JRPG? It was made in Japan. It has influence in the story and stuff like that. It's just everyone's definition of what a JRPG is slightly different. So I tried to adhere to both how I felt about it, what people online felt about it. Yeah, Zelda's considered an action-adventure game, but BGG, what's the difference between an action-adventure game and an action RPG? I mean, you get heart containers in Zelda, which increases your life. You get armor, that increases your defense. But that technically is a form of leveling. See, that used to be my original definition of it too, was some type of leveling system that incorporated experience of some kind. But, I mean, there's lots of, like, games that are 100% JRPG outside of that. Okay, I think I found the right way to go. You don't look like a Maria. Schatoltenheim Rheinbach III? I'll be Crayson. Massamune. Oh, man. I don't even know what this means. I know what Massamune is. I mean, that's a cool name, but this is just funny. Yeah, I agree with you in that regard. Mega Man X is not, but Mega Man X is also a platformer. I mean, when you really think about it, you could consider Zelda an RPG. It is a role-playing game. You're not exactly meant to be Link. You are meant to more be just controlling Link and playing through his story. So you could consider it an RPG. Whether you consider it a JRPG or not is a completely different story. I've always considered Zelda games action-adventure. In my mind, I've never thought of them as an RPG. But that's how I feel about them. That's how I experience them. I experience Zelda games in a different way than I do RPGs. I play them for different reasons. And that's really what ultimately comes down to what is an RPG and what's not to people. It's your reason behind playing those games. It's the feeling you get from playing those games. The experience you're looking for when you play a game like that. If the experience you find is completely different, then there's a good chance that the genre is completely different. Unless the game just did a very terrible job at being what it was supposed to be. He's dressed like a beggar? Doesn't look like he looks like he's dressed the same way that I've always been dressed. What is up with these people saying that I can cut off their head? Some people think sword equals RPG. Well, my list would grow quite a bit then if that was the case. But no. I mean, like I said, it's... You can imagine the amount of... I don't want to say stress. Stress is not the right way to go about wording it, but making this list has put a lot of strain on me to make it both accurate in the sense that I want to actually have a challenge that I complete. I want it to be an accurate challenge. I don't want it to just be I picked a whole bunch of games and put them on a list and said these are the games I'm playing. I want it to actually adhere to something. But in attempting to do that in the standpoint of a subgenre is very difficult. Again, playing the games on a system is pretty easy to do. You know what games are out for a system, and you can either play them or not. I want to kind of see what the enemies are like on this side. I don't know why I haven't gotten into a fight yet, but I'm a little bit afraid of going too much lower. Soul Calibur, swords everywhere. Yeah, it must be the most amazing RPG of all time then. All the swords. Oh, crap. Killer rabbits this time, guys. We may be screwed. Oh! That was decent damage. At least I'm doing decent damage back. Holy crap. There's a sword Pokemon? Rabbits with axes, what's the world coming to? Okay, we're going to this town and we're looking at potential equipment we can buy. I know I've been talking about RPGs to death, but this list is very important to me, and this challenge is something that I've been, like, dreaming of doing since I was younger. I've always at the very least wanted to experience every JRPG because I love them so much, and I felt like there's always that chance that you missed out on like a really solid one that can sit with you like some of the other games that I played. And you can't just go by the fact that, well, if that were the case, then you would know about it. Like something like Chrono Trigger or Earthbound or something like that have had such an impact on me. There's games like this one that I've owned for such a long time that I just haven't played, and this gives me the opportunity to do that and gives me a reason to do that. Not only that, it takes the picking of the game away from me, which is a problem I have when I have so many games in front of me. When I've got so many games I want to play, making a decision of what to play next is one of the most difficult things for me. And that's my fault for buying more games when I already have other ones to play, to be completely honest, but I think we all... Our majority of people here are somewhat guilty of that. A lot of people have been saying that, and so far it's a very solid RPG. I'm very interested to see where the story picks up. Right now it's been a bit of the same stuff here and there. Although it's already had some twists and turns that I wasn't expecting so early in the game. So it definitely has me curious, and it makes me want to keep playing. Alright, so now maybe I should start attaching stuff. Quack, quack, quack. Now... So you can make me play Neptunia. There's a lot of Neptunia games. That's something I realized. And then you come down to like the hack and slash elements of games. So you've got games like Tales of Symphonia and things like that that are more action-oriented battle system, but they're still very much JRPGs. But they're action RPGs. A lot of people have said that as well. So you can only have one rune, I guess, per person. I've heard a lot of people... Hey, do you know where this guy lives? Yeah. Yeah, I live right up there. Why does this game do that? Normally they would use like question marks or something like that for a person's name. So I have to give this guy an earring. I mean, I've got my favorite RPGs. I love Terranigma. A lot of people couldn't even get past the running animation of the character in Terranigma. I loved it. Like, I played that game between the music and everything else, I was just blown away. Even the poor translation couldn't take it away from me. Like, the translation made me laugh at a couple times with how bad it was. But I love the game. Well, I mean, that guy's probably got his reasons for saying that, but now we need to understand where he's coming from. So we came all the way here for nothing, I guess. Okay. I did. I love Terranigma. I feel like a lot of people haven't given it a chance for one reason or another. Even people that liked games like Soul Blazer and Illusion of Gaia. Really? Okay, they don't care about me apparently. I wonder what's going on. Let's go check it out. Mine with labor. I haven't seen that in an RPG before. I feel like this guy could take care of himself, but... For Odessa! Damn it. Free will! Blah, blah. Yeah, well, we really missed out on that one. That game has incredible music, incredible art, fun bosses. It's all out a solid game. One of my top, at least top 10 favorite RPGs. This game gives you so many decisions. I can... My thought process every time I choose a decision like this is, how is it going to affect the game? How is it going to affect the story? What's it going to do? But I can only answer in the way that I would answer. So that's what I'm going to do. We're gonna have to end up fighting your dad, aren't we? Years worth of homework. That sounds like what every teacher would do. I'm going away. Let's just give my kids homework. You absolutely should, BGG. It's hard to say. If you don't like a game, you don't like a game. When I started playing the game, I loved it. I wanted to keep playing it. A game definitely has its shortcomings, but So now, what's this one? Is this a weapon? Okay. Oh. So you don't get any other weapons, I guess. What do these do? Enchant weapon with Winter Tribute. Okay, so I can put these on weapons as well. But the clone one I can't, because that's a crystal, I guess. So the rune pieces give me elements on my weapons. Yeah, it's honestly what it suffers most from is just a bad translation. Like, what level can this go to? Ooh. Now it's a dragon fang staff. This is as much as I can handle. Okay, so maybe I can upgrade stuff more in other areas, or I have to like progress a town or something like that. Maybe it's one of those. I don't know if I'm going to continue to use these guys, but I know I'm going to use the main character. Who's what? We're talking about Terranigma. I feel like I hope that was a good idea. I like thunder. Well, I like lightning. Oh. Who's? Could you imagine if you just like went up to somebody in a store and that's all they said? Or they just said, what? Instead of like, what can I help you with today? Or, yes? Tai-ho! Yay! New party member. Okay. That attack power on him is crazy. Alright, so she's pretty fast. Low attack power. Bad defense. Low luck. Low magic. What is she good for? I mean, she has decent speed, I guess. Everything else that she has is just really low. But maybe she can be good. This whole rune stuff I need to figure out. Yeah, I'll go downstairs, but first we're gonna check the rest of this stuff. I do kind of like how these games force you to pick some characters you like and then, you know, mainly play with them. But I'm wondering also if this game's gonna be more like Chrono Cross and kind of expect you to be switching characters at certain points. Alright, Nikriti. Thanks for modding. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you so much for this awesome layout. Again, anybody interested in things like that, or just watching a cool guy stream, do RPGs, do speedruns, a nice chill stream, you should definitely follow that guy. He helped me so much with this challenge and preparing for it. A magic bonus. So why can't... Alright. Let's start selling some of our stuff that we don't need. Because our inventory is actually getting pretty full. Welcome back, Kintatsu. How are you doing, man? Alright. So, shoulder pads give +4 defense. We'll get 2 for her. I'm not really using magic though. But it's got better defense, so... Eventually I'll have a bot that kind of pushes it, or has a command that you can type in to access the information. But for now, if you need it, just let me know, and either me or one of the mods will post it. I still can't equip a shield for some reason. I'm guessing that's because I have some type of two-handed weapon instead. Alright, anyway. Let's equip her with those. And you... Oops. This makes me feel like I should, or I could have a character right now that is actually able to have shields. Yeah, I was just talking about that. It's Nakurdi made it. It's very, very awesome. I love it. Balloon defense. Was she not able to equip it? Is that why I didn't buy her one? Well, let's sell what I have. Yeah, she can't. I could get more of these and have slightly higher defense, but I think I'll hold off for now. Alright, let's go see this guy now. Guy in the blue, probably? Nope. Yes. Two of anything except one, as well as 4, 5, 6 are lucky numbers, but 2 ones and 1, 2, 3 are unlucky. Also, 3 distinct numbers is called storm. 3, 1 is very unlucky. You have to pay triple. Storm with other numbers is very lucky. You get paid triple. I didn't get to read that part. No. I literally got the worst roll you could get. I got the absolute worst possible roll you could get. I feel like that was somewhat rigged. That's a good question. I'd say for games that have multiple versions, I'll only be playing one version of the game. Like Pokemon Red and Blue. No score. What? Yeah, I'll only be playing one of those. Am I just getting really unlucky, or is this guy just gonna take a crap ton of money from me? He did say I had to bet all my money, but it's not like I got to choose the bet. I have to be honest, this is one of the few RPGs that I'm afraid to wander around all over the place. Ouch. She's your favorite? Yeah, well, apparently she doesn't want to have anything to do with me. Unless maybe I need someone certain in my party or something, and then she'll join me. Watch this be like so much better equipment than the place I was just at. Damn it. I hate when that happens. You know, you make that decision though, I guess. Whatever. Look at that defense. It's so high and so good. I need the defenses. Okay. Finally, I can appraise some items. Yes. This thing. The pot turned into a vase! An octopus urn? These actually do anything, or are they just worth money? Oops, wrong one. Wait, what's the other one? Oh. Maybe they're just worth money. What's up, Serene? So the vase is worth more than this. And the hex doll. Whatever. We find out we needed them later. The game's not very forward. So I guess I can't get her in my party yet. Oh yeah? That probably felt good. I have a bucket on my head. Now the damage I'm taking is definitely higher. Maybe I should at the very least have a world map open in front of me. There's so many towns! I like how I've been playing for over 4 hours, and the in-game time is 3 hours 26 minutes. Can you upgrade my weapon? Maybe I should have stayed at the inn. So, I feel like I'm going to be grinding for money at some point, especially if I keep losing money to that other guy. I might actually have to beat him to progress. I'm not sure. I was supposed to be meeting with him anyway. But I mean, the chances of rolling 3 ones when he only got 1 the first time, and then he... Oh, nice. And then he also... Wait, what was the needle? He also rolled a 1 the second time. And I got 1, 2, 3, which is the second worst thing that you can get in a row. Expert on baths. Okay. Oh, it was really hard to tell there that that was the end of the end of the area. These flying squirrels hurt. God. They both attack my main character. I'm dead. She protected him. Oh, cool. It still finishes the action. I want to recruit that other girl. So then I'd have a full party. Can I kill this thing? What does everyone else do? Uh-oh. Wait, can I only... Oh. Okay, so the game doesn't immediately end when the main character dies. That's good to know. Definitely does not gain experience when dead. Also good to know. We're slowly learning about this game. Oh, dear God. Does that mean that I cannot run, period? Okay, good. We need to get back to a town. Or at the very least, into manageable encounters. So let go is like a preemptive strike, kind of. I can always get a free run from it. I should have stayed at the other place. Why are you so mean, Lorelei? Alright, guys. I think I'm gonna call it for tonight. Unfortunately, I work night shift currently, so I work in a couple hours. Gives me some time